One of the most annoying problems about Git is something we actually ran into today when we tried to deploy one of our websites. So we tried to deploy one of our websites, and basically the file name, in the Git repo, we committed a file with an incorrect case sensitivity. So inside of the code base, it was linked to different case sensitivity, but the file that was actually committed had different case sensitivity, and then it just broke and it actually couldn't connect until we realized that, oh my god, until another developer realized that, wait a second, the file name had a different case sensitivity, so it's actually like capitalized when it's supposed to be lowercase. So I'm going to demo this now about these problems that we get into with Git, which is basically the case, like the file names or folder names, the case sensitivity doesn't get logged or recommitted on the change. So if you commit something with, a file name that is lowercase, commit it, but then your code base is pointing to the capitalized version, and then you want to go in and update it and you recommit, it won't work. So it kills me. I want to demo what we can do and how we can actually fix that problem. Okay, so first let me show you what happens when we actually have a situation that you see here in my VS Code. So right here we have typically, right, like I have this, a schema where things are mostly capitalized, right? So the folder names, components, contact, footer, they're capitalized. Hero, for example, might have been accidentally lowercased, and let's say the hero.module.sess file was actually lowercase as well, but yet and still we're pointing to this using the capitalized version, right? So let's do an npm run dev, and let me show you what happens here. Oop, not the Chrome. Let's close out of the Chrome. Let me show you the Safari that I have here. Okay, so the browser here, right? As we edit this file, we're locally, right? I'm gonna hit a refresh, top reloading, and we think we're all good, right? So it's actually it's really forgiving. So it's actually loaded this okay. So locally, npm run dev is really forgiving when it comes to this. So I have my lowercase, actually, you know what? Even if I'm actually pointing right here, the path is incorrect, right? So this is capitalized, but it's actually lowercase file name structure. Yet on servers, if you deploy this, it won't be able to deploy because it won't be able to find the path. But yet locally, it actually works. So you're like, okay, we're all good. Let's just deploy. Let's go. And then you realize, wait a second, it actually doesn't work. And let's say you already committed this. So let me demo this right now. So I'm going to go ahead, commit this, where I have a lowercase file name for hero, and the hero is also lowercase, yet, pointing with the capital H, right? And because that's our protocol, we have capitalized. So let's go. So let's actually just get out of this log. And then I'm going to go into the Chrome, and let's go ahead and commit this, what we have so far, to the repo. Okay, so we're going to commit it with lowercase. Oh, let me actually do a git init. No, we actually need to we need to actually have a first commit. All right, so let's hit a refresh. All right, so we went ahead and committed this to our repo, right? So if we look here under components, we see here heroes lowercase, and the CSS module is actually lowercase, right? So in our npm run dev, we have no problem, right? We're like, okay, this is great. And if we npm run build this locally, it actually works as well. Now let's go ahead in our Vercel and try to deploy this. And this issue will happen even with DigitalOcean, or if you have an Ubuntu droplet somewhere. If we go ahead, let's just go ahead and try to deploy this locally. So I'm going to import that repo. I'm just going to say, hey, in Vercel, you know what? Just go ahead and deploy this. I have no problems locally. Everything's working. Let's deploy. All right, so let's let this run. And let's see what Vercel tells us. All right, so it's building over here. I'm just gonna get something while that goes. All right, cool. All right, so you can see, oh, let me actually move. Oh, look at that. So you can see behind me. Let me actually move my move over to this side right here, and look at over here. We already have a problem, right? It couldn't commit. So let's go down, and it couldn't even build or deploy this site, right? So if you scroll down, it has an error that is rightfully so. It says module not found, can't resolve components hero inverse L, right? So now what we can do is we can probably, so we're kind of stuck, right? So it says here hero, right? So it says it can't find that path because it's saying here, but it's looking for this and it's capitalized, okay? So it's like, wait a second, we can't do it. Now, if we go ahead and update this, so another developer could say, hey, this is kind of, the file name is messed up. We need to update it because we want to make sure our protocol is all capitalized. Now, probably we can change this and recommit and it'll work. But then now you're stuck with your code base having this like out of whack, off of your protocol, right? Like if something's supposed to be capitalized, a one-off thing that's, lowercase. So you can kind of do that, but then you're stuck forever. But you might say, well, why can't we just rename the file or the folder? And we can, right? So we renamed it. And now let's go ahead and let's see if we can recommit. I'm just going to put any message. And it's saying, oh, actually, let me move this so you can see. Let me show you what we have in our VS Code. So if you look at our VS Code here, right, we just tried to re-edit this, right? We updated the H and recommit this. I'm going to move this up here so you can see. It says our branch is clean. Again, I'm trying to recommit this. I'm trying to make an update. I've changed the name to the file because I want to redeploy this. I can't redeploy this unless I fix this issue. And if we go locally, right, our file name has changed, but it won't let me commit this to the remote origin so that we can redeploy. So we're kind of stuck. Git actually has this in a way. I don't know why renaming files or folder names don't get reinitialized in Git. So what you have to do, which is a super annoying thing, you actually have to remove it from the Git repo, push, and then put it back in with the right file name. So the solution is sort of horrendous, but I'm going to demo that. So basically what I'm going to do locally, I can't share this yet on screen, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and take the file in my Finder window, and I'll show you. I'm just going to basically copy and paste this folder. Let me see if I can share that into the... Let's see if I can share this on the screen. Second, Chrome source tree terminal. No, I don't see it here. But what I'm doing is I'm basically going to take the folder of hero. I'm going to stash it somewhere, and I'm going to make a copy of it into like another area on my Mac computer. And now I have to actually, because I have to remove it so that I can remove it from the repo and then remove it in the folder. So what you have to use is, let me actually use my terminal. All right, so if you can see my terminal, let's go into element 2, and then let's go into cd commit tests, right? So this is my file. So what we have to do again, we have to remove it from the actual repo, because or we could just, delete it and kind of like re-add it, but it's going to be there. So we need to remove any reference to that folder. So we're going to use git rm, and then we're going to go into the path. So we're going to say components, and we're going to have to remove the hero from the whole folder. Okay, now Git has actually initiated and sees a change, and now that it's removed, we're actually going to we have to remove it locally from the Finder window. You kind of have to just delete it, right? So there's nothing we can do to fix that file name. And now if we do git status, we can see we've deleted components hero from the repo, and now we have to actually commit this. Removed folder due to file name change. All right, now we're gonna git push this, So now if we go into our, let me share this. Let's hide the terminal. Were you guys able to see that actually? Where did that go? I don't know if you guys were able to see that, but I think I was sharing the wrong terminal. But if you look here, right? So if we go here, let me move this, let me bring this down. So now if we refresh, I've committed this, and now let's take a look in the components. Now we can see the hero folder is gone. So now I have to drag it back in, and just, I removed it from the repo, and I've also gone ahead and removed it physically. All right, so now let's open up our VS Code. So now I put it back in, and let's open this back up. Now we're gonna fix everything. So we're gonna say, okay, we want this to be capitalized. Here is capitalized, here's capitalized. This would be a mistake as well. I was gonna demo that, but I think we get the same point. It's the same concept. So we're gonna say, let's just fix this now because that's how we want it. And let's make sure that it's pointing properly. Yeah, so capital H, capital H. Okay, so now we can say git status. And now it's saying your branch is up to date, nothing to add. Wait a second, huh? So now it shouldn't be. Did we do this? Let me try to actually commit it. Git added new folder. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now, right. So we added these, and now we're gonna git push this. And now let's hit the refresh on there. So that worked, hit a refresh. And now we've committed this back. So we've actually had to, we can't just fully delete, we actually have to delete the reference from the repo to do this. Now let's try to redeploy. And there's nothing in this, it's just like a demo. And so I'm gonna go back in here and let's just delete this and actually try to actually I'll just, we'll just do a new one. Let's just go back and we'll do an add new project. And let's go ahead and use the git repo, import, commit, test, and now it's going to make a new one. And let's just try to deploy and make sure that issue, has gone away. All right, so now we're trying to deploy again. You can see it here. Let me actually move the VS Code out of the way. Here we go. Okay, so let's see. Are you going to deploy? "25 seconds, 27. The deployment of Vercel sometimes can take so much time. Look at that. So it's successfully deployed. Again, this is the empty repo, but there you have it. So the idea here is that, if you commit incorrect case sensitivity, like folder and files with the wrong sensitivity, you can never change the way you point to those files ever again if you've already committed it. Like if it was lowercase, it will have to, all your pointing to that file has to remain lowercase forever. So it breaks all of your your scope, whatever protocol you guys have set as a team. The only way to fix that is to actually literally remove it from the repo, like literally remove, which is like super dangerous, like to actually get rid of the files. You have to, remove it, like the references from the repo, and then recommit it with the new, file name with the right case sensitivity. So that's been our quest for today, and definitely a learning lesson. I think it comes up a lot in a lot of different issues. I think you see it a lot. And what's scary about it is that sometimes you don't know that something, like what exactly is wrong when you're trying to deploy. Like the good thing is Vercel gives you like some detail, but there's sometimes when you're deploying and you don't get all that detail. Like, oh, this is actually what's wrong. It's just deployment fails. You got to check the logs and all that. So look out for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll post this one on my YouTube. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.